Okay, we're going to continue with measurement and length. So we're going to be applying our estimations to problem solving skills. Okay, so think about those centimeter cubes. You guys remember those from the previous classes, but we saw a bunch of them. I want you to estimate using these. Estimate about how long these objects are according to, or if we were to use those centimeter cubes. If we lined up the centimeter cubes end to end to end, next to this paper clip, I'd say it'd be about 2.5 to 3 centimeters long. Okay, I know the crayon is probably the next longest after that. I'd say maybe 4 or 5 centimeters long. Maybe put the crayon next to that, about 5. So maybe 6 or 7 centimeters long. So I'm using what I know to make my estimations, which means this is probably going to jump me up to about 11 or 12 centimeters. Okay. So start with what you know, and we're just estimating. Jack put the objects shown in order, and we're trying to figure out which item is the longest. So we can actually use the pictures this time. I see the safety pin. That's definitely the shortest because it's shorter than the crayon, and the crayon and the pencil look pretty similar in this picture. But the hairbrush, it's definitely longer than the pencil. So we can say the hairbrush confidently is the longest. Here's another story problem for us. We're going to be estimating. Tabby screamed when she saw something move through her garden that was about a yard long. Remember, a yard is about the distance from a doorknob to the ground. So I know an ant, that's way too small. That's more like centimeters or millimeters. A snake is possible, but let's keep going. A cricket, well, that's too small. Much smaller than a snake. And a little, only slightly larger than the ant. A worm, I'd probably just use inches to measure this. A yard would be way too long, so my answer here is snake. Okay, just based on what I understand about length already and making some estimations. So here's our next one. We have students use the car, bus, and bike shown above to get to school. How should we arrange them in order from longest to shortest? Well, hopefully you're pretty quick with this and you see school bus is really long. Okay, much longer than this bike since it is such a pretty bike, and longer than the car as well. Okay, so we would say bus, car, bike. All right, let's keep going. So now let's apply that information to a story problem. The bus is 11 yards long and the car is 5 yards long. The question says, how many cars would you need to create a length that is longer than the bus? So if we have our bus, we have 2 cars. Well, we know 5 plus 5 is 10. That's pretty quick. And then 10 is less than 11 by 1. So we would need 1 more car to get us beyond 11. So the bus is 11 yards. 2 cars is 10 yards. 3 cars is 15 yards. Okay, we want to figure out what's the difference here. How much longer are the 3 cars now than the bus? So if I have 11 versus 15, the difference right here between the two is 15 minus 1, because we have 11 versus 10 right here. So 15 minus 1, we know that is 4. 4 yards is the difference between the length of the bus and the cars. All right, so here we go. Continuing on, Kelvin has a brand new pencil. About how long is it? Well, looking here, oh gosh, it's not lined up at the 0. But oh, thank goodness, the end is at exactly 1, looks like 1 centimeter. So we have 1, 2, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can say it is about 3, 4, 5, oh, I'm sorry, inches. After sharpening, it was 2 inches shorter. So now we need to subtract. We have, don't be confused by the 9, because remember we didn't start at 0. We have a total of 5 inches. We're going to take away 2 inches, 5 minus 2. So Kevin's pencil was 3 inches long after he sharpened it. So we have our strip diagram here to help us. 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay, so I'm going to see if you guys want to leave a comment on about this one. How much longer is the watermelon than the strawberry? I look, it's lined up at 0. Strawberry is about 3 inches. The watermelon, pretty close to 0, lined up at about 7 inches. So 3 versus 7, how much longer is that? Well, I'm going to leave that up to you to answer me. And then you can go to this question as well.